Karl-Anthony Towns is currently penciled in as the Knicks starting center. And even though he can play that position, it doesn't mean that he should, especially for this Knicks team. If you take a look at the roster, Towns is more suited to play the power forward position. And I'm not the only one who believes that. According to ESPN NBA insider Shams, he recently revealed that the Knicks have a plan in place for Cat and the returning Mitchell Robinson. And that plan is very similar to the way the Minnesota Timberwolves used Towns when they traded for Rudy Gobert. We're going to break down all of those latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks have a plan for Cat and Robinson, and it is absolutely perfect. Now, it's perfect once Robinson returns, and Robinson's return date is estimated to be January 2025. Now, it could be later than that, but here's the thing. The plan that the Knicks have in place is the exact plan that I wanted the Knicks to run as soon as we traded for Cat. The only issue was we really didn't have a center that we can pair with Towns to allow him to play the four. But if the Knicks get back a healthy Mitchell Robinson or they trade for a starting center, they can do exactly what they have planned. Play two bigs in the starting lineup. Towns at the four and a dominant five. And if the Knicks do that, it unlocks so many different advantages for them. Let's break down these latest reports from Shams about the Knicks and how they want to use Towns and Mitchell Robinson. According to Shams, the Knicks, they needed a five. A lot of that is because I'm told Mitchell Robinson will be out the remainder of this calendar year, 2024. He will aim for his season debut in January. He had 2 ankle surgeries last season. It is imperative for him to come back in peak form and really take his time from these injuries. They're hopeful he's going to be back, and head coach Tom Thibodeau loves Mitchell Robinson defensively. Shams also revealed that the Knicks and Timberwolves had been talking about a Towns trade off and on since the NBA draft in June. Furthermore, the expectation is that Robinson and Towns playing together in the front court is the plan for New York. And what a plan it's going to be. This is not anything new, because if you look at what the Minnesota Timberwolves did last season with Towns and Rudy Gobert, that's exactly what the Knicks want to replicate with Cat and Mitchell Robinson. The only problem is Mitchell Robinson and his availability. Will he even be available to do this for a stretch of games consistently, 4 or 5 games? We don't know. But here's the good news. Mitchell Robinson is not the only center the Knicks can run this with. If they trade for another starting caliber center, they can do the exact same thing they have planned with Cat and Mitchell Robinson with somebody else. But here's the thing. A lot of people in the comments continue to ask me, why do I continue to say I want the Knicks to trade for a starting center? Because you continue to point out that we have a starting center in Karl-Anthony Towns. I understand that. I know Towns can play the 5 spot for the Knicks, and he can do it very well. But here's the thing. There's a multitude of reasons why I don't want Towns to play the 5. The number one reason is his injury history. Just take a look at his past. It is very worrisome. He's had a lot of lower leg injuries over the course of his career. And if he plays the 5 spot for the Knicks, he's going to have to bang inside, get rebounds, block shots, and put his body on the line. And if he does that, he can risk significant injury. If he gets injured and we don't have Towns in the lineup, the Knicks and their chances of getting a championship will fall with Towns as well too. So we can't put him in that position. Another reason that Towns shouldn't play the 5 is if you play him at the 5, you limit his game because he's going to be more focused on rebounding, getting those block shots, and playing that defense inside. If he's not playing the 5, you allow Towns to play Towns-style basketball. That means he can pull defenders outside when he's shooting the 3. He can play make. He can pass at the top of the key. He can drive inside, use his body, get to the line. Everything we saw in that preseason game against the Wizards, he can do the exact same thing at the 4, but anytime that he wants to. He's not going to have to worry about anything else. I'm not going to say he's going to stop playing defense. I'm not trying to suggest that at all. But what I'm saying is Towns at the 4 clearly works. It's better for him. And in terms of his career and longevity, it's better for that too. I think the Timberwolves felt that way. And that's why after they made the trade for Gobert, they exclusively played Towns at the 4. And I believe they did that because they know exactly what the Knicks know now. Towns is more impactful when he plays that position. He's able to do anything he wants to do on offense, and he still gives you a lot of defense as well too. And if he's not primarily playing the 5, it protects his body. It saves him. It saves the longevity of this team. And isn't that what you want to do as well too? Be in the mix to get a championship each and every year, not just be a flash in the pan, a one-year type of team. I know the Knicks didn't build this roster just for a one-year deal. They wanted to do this so they can be competitive year after year after year. And the only way to do that is to build the roster smart, but to play the roster smart as well too. And this is why I wish we had a starting 5 right next to Karl-Anthony Towns that we can play. And if the Knicks can develop one of their bigs off the bench, whether it be Huck Porty, Jericho Sims, Precious Achiuwa, just somebody they can play alongside Towns, even if we can do it for 10 to 15 minutes a night, I think that will benefit the Knicks. For those 10 to 15 minutes, the Knicks will be untouchable, unstoppable. You will not be able to touch them, especially on offense. On defense, we'll see what happens. But offensively, they are going to kill each and every team that they face, no matter who it is, because Jalen's going to be there. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be there. The corners are going to be open with shooters, Mikal Bridges, sometimes Deuce McBride, sometimes OG Anunoby. Can you imagine the corners open with those guys? The top of the key open with Karl-Anthony Towns and a cutting Jalen Brunson? That sounds unstoppable. And if you pair that lineup with a legit 5 inside, then even if the Knicks don't get the shot that they want, somebody else can clean up inside, get the rebound, and what do we get? Second chance opportunities. What were the Knicks great at last year? Second chance opportunities. If the Knicks find a way to pair their great offense with what made them so good last year and those second chance opportunities, not only will we be the most dominant team in the league on the boards, we will be one of the best teams in the entire NBA. Because how do you stop a team that not only can you not stop on offense, but even if we mess up, we have players inside that can help clean up the mess, get the rebound, and make sure we get another pass at the basket. It's hard to stop that. And it's debilitating. You work so hard on defense. You bang inside. You try to get the rebound, only to get out-rebounded by a guard in Josh Hart. And you're a center. How does that feel? It must kill you. And the Knicks are not even fully healthy. We don't even have a starting center that we would want on this team in terms of Mitchell Robinson. Because let's get this right. Shams just made it perfectly clear in his report. If the Knicks had Mitchell Robinson right now, there would be a shift in the starting lineup. It would likely be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson. That would be your starting 5. The Knicks would be doing exactly what the Minnesota Timberwolves did with Karl-Anthony Towns last year, because that's the most effective way to use Towns. Imagine Towns in the corner or being able to stand in the corner. What would that do to opposing defenders? What would that do to them? They would likely go to Towns in the corner. Maybe a couple of defenders would go there. And then inside the paint, it's all open. Or the other side of the court, it's all open. That allows the Knicks to do anything they want to do. Run whatever they want to run. Take advantage of exactly what the defenders are giving them. And Towns is the biggest part of that. He's the catalyst of that if he's playing the 4. He's always the catalyst of that if he's playing the 4 position for the Knicks. And that's why you put him in that position, because defenders would never know what to do with him. And if Towns is roaming, if Towns is moving while he's playing that position, it's over. There is nothing that any team can do to stop the Knicks. Because what are you going to do with a roaming near 7-foot big man that can shoot the 3 like Towns, that can play inside like Towns, that can use his body inside like Towns, take contact, and get to the line? What are you going to do? Oh, I know. You're going to get into foul trouble. You're going to foul out. You're going to get frustrated. and then you're going to stop playing. And then the Knicks are going to run right through you. Look at what happened with the Wizards. I know it's the Wizards. I know it's preseason, and I know it's only 2 games. But that third quarter was a glimpse into the future, ladies and gentlemen. A glimpse into a wonderful, amazing future for this team, where the Knicks are playing suffocating defense. We are abusing the pick and roll, and defenders just don't know what to do, don't know how to handle us, and are just watching it all go by. Because in my opinion, not only is that beautiful basketball, but for the Knicks, that is the basketball that we've waited to see for maybe 20 plus years. And now we finally have the coach, the stars, and the roster to finally get it done. Boston is not unbeatable, especially with a team like the Knicks existing in the NBA. But what about you guys? What do you think about these following reports indicating that if Mitchell Robinson was healthy, the Knicks' plans were to run 2 bigs out on that floor together? And I'm talking about a lineup, a starting lineup that would include Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson together. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.